Yep, that's right. It's another broken MacBook. I actually got a really good deal on this one. So we'll see what kind of condition it ends up being in. I couldn't tell too well from the photos what it's like. It didn't look too bad. It's got a ding on this corner. Just there. Which is a shame. No screws in it. Yeah, there's a bit some liquid in here. The liquid damage. It's an insurance item. It's got a battery still. Probably no bloody good, but it's got a battery. Hard drive's been taken out. Flex is still there, but there's some signs of liquid on the flex. Is there a kink in the flex there? Maybe. Board number is an 820-2914, is it? Serial number sticker's gone. Or actually no, it's still there, but it's been wiped off. So I think this has been through an ultrasonic cleaner. Someone's already had a go at this thing. Yeah. Keyboard's there, plugged in. Yeah. I don't know. Battery's still plugged in, I'm quite surprised by that. It's not an original Apple battery. So we can see. See you damage it. For those that aren't familiar, I do MacBook repairs from time to time as they come up. That's looking alright in there, that's surprising. Not seeing much corrosion yet. So I've done various MacBook videos, so this may or may not feature as a MacBook repair video. We'll see how we go. Sorry for focusing, I'm just trying to hold it in mid-air at about the right height. I'm not seeing anything obvious. Is it just because someone's dropped it? There we go, A128915B. See it just there. Obviously my light wasn't on the right, so I couldn't see it. Well, it doesn't look too bad. Shall I just try powering it up? See if it's just because someone's dropped it. Plug everything back in again. Battery's already plugged in. Let's just get a cable and we'll try powering it up. Right, so let's hook the MagSafe up. It feels okay. Power supply on. We'll power it up. Now I'm going to turn the power on. That's booting. No RAM expected. That's booting. Is it just a bad case? Let's pull the MagSafe out. Battery's probably completely flat or knackered or something. RAM. I'm going to get some RAM. I can't use this one because it's a bit damaged. Okay, here we go, some 2011 RAM. Just grab one of these out. Doesn't need much, it's something's got to see if it's going to boot up or not, isn't it, really? See if the screen will come on. I'll drop it in the bottom slot first, then I'll try the top slot too, maybe. Okay, MagSafe back in. Bad RAM. Okay, try the other RAM slot. This is a 4GB DDR3L. Let's try the other RAM slot. I thought this was the right RAM, maybe it isn't. Okay, I just fitted in a different piece of RAM. This is not a DDR3L, and I think it's a PC3, this one. I think it's a slightly slower one. Anyway, try that. Just gonna wake up. Oh, different. That spun up. And we got a boot sound. Right. Okay. Do we have a screen? How lucky am I going to be with this thing? We have a screen. At least we have a backlight. Let's see how far this is going to go. I'll come back if it gets to the question marks folder. And we have a question mark folder. This thing might actually work. Okay, so I've got my ASD disk here. I need ASD 144 for this test, this particular machine. So let's power it up. Option key. I'll see if I can boot into 144. But so far I think this computer is actually fixable if it's not completely knackered. It could be a graphics problem, of course. That does happen a lot on these 2011 MacBooks. Graphics can be a real problem. But so far it's looking fine, but then we need to get into a booted operating system in order to know if it's okay or not. So you got a trackpad, 144, although it's very slow. 144 in the OS, let's see if that will boot. Let's give it a go. I'll come back. No, it's died. So this is like a typical fault with these things. When I tried to switch to high resolution graphics, it's died. So this looks like a GPU problem. That's not unsurprising. But that's also not unsurmountable. I can do something to fix this. Okay, so I booted into the EFI version, and we'll see what this comes up with. I'm pretty sure it's the right version of the ASD for this machine. Got a memory here, so I could have got it wrong. We'll find out in a second. It'll tell me if it's wrong one or not. But it's very likely it's got a graphics problem. That's usually what the problem is with these 15-inch, well, 17, 15-inch 2011 models. GPUs are prone to failure. But there's ways around that. Like I've actually got one of these left. The CMI Tiresias. Is that how you put that? Tiresias, I really don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a 15-inch one, which is for this model machine. So A1286. So if I need to, I can install this and return this machine to working condition. But we'll see how we go. Based on the speed this is going at, might have a sensor problem as well. Could even be the battery, because it's an aftermarket battery that is still plugged in. But I want to do a test on this thing. This is definitely slow, so I'll get it booted up and go through the testing and see what it comes up as. But it's looking reasonable, at least so far. Okay, so it's booted into at least this part of the testing system, so it's the correct version for this machine. So I'm going to do testing. I'm not going to test memory because it's just a RAM stick which I've shoved in, which is probably fine anyway. I'm not going to test that, it takes too long. But I'll do all the other tests and we'll see what happens. We'll see what it fails on. I'll come back once it's finished. Okay, so I ran through all those tests and it actually passed. How odd. So I wasn't expecting that. But so the sensors seem okay, hasn't noticed anything which is a bit out of whack. I can actually check in the actual information about the system as well, checking that in a minute. There you go, system information. So let's just have a look in here. See if anything looks bad. Seems okay so far. I'll probably skip through this so you don't have to look at it. So it's a 2.2 GHz model. CPU. Video control ATI Intel. Yeah. Camera's recognised, Ethernet's recognised, SD card is recognised, infrared port, battery is seen, design cycle count is 1000, and the cycle count is in there somewhere. Where is that? 3 cells. Fuel count 0. Voltage 7.9 volt. Is charger connected? True. Is charging? False. So it's not charging the battery. It's fully charged. False. Charge cycles 22. So that's interesting. So it's not charging the battery. So it could be some problem. Battery temp sensors look alright. Yeah. So I don't know why it's not charging. Okay, that's a separate problem. Drive is recognised. Obviously there's no hard drive in it right now, so it doesn't matter. sensors. So we've got here ambient light reading, okay. On my pinch lighting is going to do something for that. Current sensing, current sensing, current sensing. Okay, so there's a little right there. Current sensing is quite important. That's reading a value. That's very low, but okay. That's something I might be concerned with. IO0R, I'm not quite sure which one that is. I'll have to look it up. Accelerometer, magnetometer, temperature, other temperature, next temperature, yep. CPU die 50 degrees, okay. CPU die 47, CPU proximity 44, GPU die 44, so it's reading temperature okay. Proximity 45, Thunderbolt, PCH it's 51, PCH die 52. Okay, well it's looking right. There's nothing really standing out here as being bad. Peak bus 12.987. Yeah, okay. GPU core, well it's probably disabled anyway right now. Fan speeds are registering. So, okay, well the hardware profile looks normal. So let's try MRI, see what that thinks of it. This is based on ASD 155. So it's actually not the right version for this machine. But we'll see what it thinks of it. Might be interesting. So it's got part of the way through this and it's actually crashed, just what they tend to do if it's not exactly the right model for it. But you can see it's quad core into i7, 2.2 GHz said. Late 2011, 15 inch as I knew. So I did the battery test, but I can't see what the result was because it crashed with the window over the top, so I can't see it. And it's testing power adapter, but it's probably because it's plugging into my power supply, not into an Apple adapter. Maybe it's what's confused it. Maybe expecting something different, but it said Wi-Fi bad and logic board bad. So yeah, I don't know. Bluetooth's okay though. SD card's alright. USB's okay. Whatever that is okay. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to try booting this into Sierra on the SSD, external SSD I've got here. I've got Sierra installed in this. I'm going to try booting into that and see what happens with the display. I've also plugged in a different battery, say 13 inch battery, so I'm actually having to hold it in place right now, but I just want to see if it's going to start charging or register it or anything like that. So far it's not doing anything, but the battery might be charged anyway. I'm not quite sure what level these are at. So I need it to boot up really so I can see whether it's trying to charge or not on the display. Now is it going to go to a white screen or what? Don't forget these machines have only got USB 2, so they're a bit slow to boot from external drive. SSD is definitely faster than flash drive anyway. Does help. The bar's still moving along. I should change it to dedicated graphics in a second. Well, shortly. When it does that, we'll see what happens to the screen. It might come back and be alright and boot, or it might vanish. The bar's still moving, so it's not frozen. Still creeping along. Okay, I switched over to graphics. Heard a noise out of one of the speakers, interestingly, at the same time as I did that. And you can see it's gone to a white screen. We'll give it a little bit more time just in case it's recovering or something. Sometimes if they're a bit slow they can blank out and then come back. Well, it's not going to do it, so it looks like it's got a GPU problem. I could try resetting the perimeter RAM, or parameter RAM, non-volatile RAM we want to call it. See if that does anything. It can help sometimes. Yep, I'll give that a go. I'll come back and let you know if it works. If it doesn't, then oh well, that's the end of it. Okay, I've done a non-volatile RAM reset and unplugged the battery completely. Still nothing, so it's not booting. So yes, it's got a GPU problem. That's not surprising. And if you look in here, you can see, hopefully you can see these, the water indicators or liquid indicators have been fired on here. But like I said, I saw liquid stains inside the bottom of the case anyway. But it looks like someone has done some work on this to try and clean it up, and because the board looks clean and the serial number information is gone. So now I notice this part of the circuitry just here, which is the charge circuitry, that's getting quite hot even with that battery in there. So I think there's probably some problem here. It's probably a bad tantalum or something like that. I'm not sure, but there's some kind of issue in this circuitry here because it's getting very hot. Well, I can still touch it, but it's not right. Well, I'm going to carry on with this repair. So I've got the Tire Series 15" here, which is the CMI zapper, which kills the GPU. That's the next part I'm going to do. The board does have some other issues on it with power supply stuff as well, I think, for the battery charging. I need to look into that part yet, but at the moment I can't get the thing to even boot, so I can't do any sensor testing, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put this in first, get the thing to boot, and then I'll worry about what else is going on. Now this is a review item, so thank you very much, Harold. He's the guy that designed these things. And so basically all you do is you put it over the top of the ROM. Alright, so the SPI ROM, what you want to call it, the NVRAM PRAM chip, which is just down here, just strap it over the top of it, and it rewrites that to disable the GPU, so it doesn't try and use it. And there's also a resistor you have to remove as well to remove the power supply to the GPU as well, and you take that off as well, and it turns it off completely physically as well as electronically. And then the GPU is disabled and it uses the integrated graphics instead of the dedicated graphics. So you also sent me a few postcard stuff in here too. But here's the actual module. Inside here was a opening somewhere. There we go. Ripped through the bag anyway. So here it is. The module's in here. Pretty small thing. So there it is. Upside down. Out, show you a bit better. Right, so there is the module. So what I've got to do is strap that around that chip. So if I just put it on the board like this, you'll see it will go just like that. Okay, all I've got to do is solder it on and then find the resistor which powers the GPU and remove that as well. And that'll be the GPU disabled, and that'll be that part of the modification repair part done. I mean, technically you're doing the proper repair, you replace the GPU, but these things, the GPUs fail all the time, and there's just no point in going there. Just disable it and move on. It's a lot of expense, a lot of effort to replace a GPU, which might only last you 6 months. Maybe, if you're lucky, it might last a week. You just don't know. Just do this, it's just far easier. Make sure you go and check out the website, cmizapper.com. Right, so there's the website address that's down there. Right, so make sure you go and check him out. He's got other things there as well, little test tools and little gadgets and things for technicians to help him out. He's quite an ingenious guy. Okay, so we'll stick that on. I'll get my gear set up and then we'll come back and I'll start soldering it. And then I'll find that resistor as well. So if you've ever watched Paul Daniels, the Mac repair guy, not the magician, he's used these as well in his repairs. So it's out there. I mean, other people are using them as well. They may not necessarily always publicly say they're using them, but they are being used. Right, so I've put some flux on there to help that. I'm using some leaded solder. This is a silver one, SN62 from Loctite, multi-core solder. So we'll just stick the solder across here and see how we go. I'm looking at the board, not the screen, so I can't see the same thing you're seeing. Hopefully this will be okay. Can I see that? Got a bridge across there, but that's fine. We'll get rid of that. It's a bit messy. Is there still a bridge there? I think it might be. I'll chuck a little bit more flux on there. Just to get the last one nice. That's better. I'll be happy with that. Let's do the other side, which is a bit awkward because I've got to try and work backwards. So here we go with that. As it's got everything turned around so you can see and that sort of stuff, it's a bit awkward. Right. Let's just flood it and I'll clean it up after. This is some really messy soldering, I have to say. I'm not doing very well today. Stick some more flux on there, clean up some more. I'm not sure I've got enough solder on there actually. Just look at the screen this time and see what I'm doing. I think that's on. I'm just not sure about this pin here. Okay. Let's clean up and have a look. My lights are probably causing a bit of havoc with that too. And of course the cat's decided to go out right now. I need a pad. I haven't worked on a MacBook in months, so I'm a bit out of practice as well. And that side's definitely looking right, the right hand side. Left side I'm not sure about. I'm happy with the left side still, because I'm working a bit awkwardly, so I might actually try and spin it around. I'll come back. Okay, so I've rearranged everything, moved it all around, so now I can get to the other side a little bit easier. I'm going to knock my cleaner over. I might stick a bit more flux in there again. Might need to touch my solder. I'm just not sure about that second pad in there. It doesn't look quite right. Okay, that's looking better. I'm much happier with that. Okay, let's keep it clean. Have a close look and make sure it looks okay. Yeah, I think it is. Pretty sure it is. Still got a bit of flux residue sitting around. Let's just give that a clean. Needs more cleaning. Yeah, that's okay. This looks like there's bridges, but there's not bridges. It's just the way the traces are shaped. so that's fine. I'm just being overly concerned about nothing. Alright, so the next thing I'll do, spin it around a bit so you can see it slightly better. My lights are actually making this harder to see. You have to remove a resistor, R8911, which is just there, next to that capacitor. See that resistor there, the upper one? That one there. That resistor there has to go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to desolder it and shift it off the pad and stick it to one side, in case it needs to be reinstated one day for any reason whatsoever, who knows. Now I could use hot air, or I could use soldering iron. I'm actually going to spin this around and make it easy to get to. Then hopefully not lose where I am. And I've lost where I am. Where are we? Should be to the right hand side. No, too far over. We're here somewhere. There we go. Right. It's going to kind of rock a little bit, it's not great. Just pop this up. There we go. So, yep, again, that's that resistor right there. There's one we're going to take off and shift it off, so I can get to this quite nicely. I think I'll use hot air for this. It's just generally easier, but I will first stick some leaded solder on it just to make it easier to get it off. I mean, I might be able to do it with this, but usually it's a bit of a pain because of the thermal properties of this area of the board. It's not quite focused, is it? It's better. Right. Let's turn this other light off actually. It's a bit hard for you guys to see because it's flashing, it's washing the screen out. Is it better? Marginally? Let's do hot air and we'll try and get this out. I might need my better tweezers for this because these other cheap ones, they're okay for most things, but when you're getting really fine like this and really small components, then it's a bit hard. So what's my setup to? 400? Yeah, I should probably do it. Yeah, it's probably a bit high though. 60, yeah. That'll do. Grab that part there and shift it off to one side. That's the plan. I've got the airflow down quite low. I don't want to put too much heat into the board. Come on. And there we go. Shift it off to one side. Let's just make sure there's no bridges. I'll find it again. There we go. I think it's probably alright. I could have just taken it off, but I actually wanted to keep it in place. So we'll find it again, gotta keep losing it. There we go. Yep, no bridges, that's absolutely fine. So I'm happy with that. Of course I could have stuck it like 45 degrees to make it obvious that it's shifted off, but that'd be fine. Alright, so for me that's the end of the process, but there are some extra steps if you're going to be using a higher operating system. So if you're using High Sierra or newer, then you also need to do some extra jumpers to allow for brightness control. This is some system change they did, and what Apple did, disabled brightness control with this unit. Okay, on High Sierra and newer. If you're below High Sierra, then you're fine. You don't need to do anything. The system will still control the brightness correctly. But there's a couple of pads on here. Okay, so you've got those two pads right there. Those are then jumpered to locations on the main board to give you brightness control. That's not optional if you are going to use High Sierra or newer. So that's something to bear in mind. If just a couple of jumps, one just goes just over here, another one's got to go over to the other side of the board. But I think there is actually a pad nearby. I think Paul Daniels did notice there's a pad nearby. So it may not really be an issue. Might be able to go shorter. I think there was something that will work. Okay, so that's that part done. Now I've got to look at this whole DC power supply thing, so I know there is a fault somewhere with the battery charging system, because this area of the board gets hot whilst it's running. Now I don't know exactly what it is. It could be a bad tantalum or something. I haven't done any probing around or anything yet. I haven't investigated any of that, because all I did is basically a power up test and realised the GPU's dead, and that's pretty much as far as I went with it. So I think I did have some more liquid damage, did I? I can't remember. I don't remember now. This is months ago when I last worked on this video. It's months ago. It's 4 or 5 months probably. It's been sitting here the whole time waiting to get back to it. There could be a problem with the capacitor over here, or it could be something else. It could even be on this side of the board. There is a MOSFET over here, but it's this area. That's the SMC just there, so you have to be careful about that. And that looks like it's actually been replaced. Did I replace that? There's no bonding around the edges of the SMC. I don't remember if I replaced it or not. I could have done. I really have no recollection. Anyway, so it gets hot in this area. Something's going on somewhere. But it's probably, the fact the battery doesn't charge means it's probably related to that. But then the GPU is fried, so it could even be related to that. So we'll try it again. Right, I've got my power supply switched on. We can plug this in and see if it's going to boot up or not. So this is a drive which I've got ASD 3S144 on. Now 144 is the system for this particular machine. If it boots into the OS version of that, then we're all good. It should. I expect it will. Just plug it into here. I need to get the cable, hook it up. Let's flip it over. So I've only put a couple of screws in the ball just to help hold it down. So it doesn't flap around, that's all. Right. Let's give it a go. Sorry, the line's turned on. I guess I jugged it. Right, power on. We're drawing some current, 1 amp, 1.1 amps. The fans are spinning up. Got a light in the front. Unfortunately, this machine's got a big ding on it, so I think I've had a couple of these now where these corners are dinged in. It's and I think that's been done. I should have pushed the option key. Damn it. Let's do this again. Too busy talking. The GPU's failed, but I think because it's an insurance claim item, right? This has been an insurance claim. I've got this on my site, which deals with former insurance claim stuff. As I said, insurance claim. So I think what I do is I drop it on the corner to say, oh, it's been dropped and therefore it's damaged and that's what's blown it, rather than saying, oh, it's a bad GPU. So they claim it on insurance. I think that's what's going on there. EFI boot, that's helpful. It's going a little bit slow, but then I've got a battery plugged in. So the battery does have a problem anyway. 3S144OS. That's what we want. And we'll see if it boots. Well, it's booted, so yeah, that's looking good. Yeah, that's fine. Clock is wrong because there's no battery in it. It's not remembered anything. That's absolutely fine. Trackpad works. Obviously, the keyboard works because I was able to push the option key, or at least some of the keyboard works. But I think it's purely a case the GPU's failed and then they've banged it on that corner to do an insurance claim, and that corner's now damaged, which is a shame because that's actually really hard to fix. You can't make it look nice. It doesn't go away. Right, let's do a test of, well, everything apart from, actually do a test of everything. I know the battery's not there. Let's just test everything. It's going to take a while. Error, continue on error. And I'll get this going. This could take a while. I'll come back once it's done. It's already failed something. What's that one? What's it failed? GPU. Yeah, okay, because I've disabled the GPU, so that's fine. That's expected. Okay, it says it failed. Let's have a look what it failed for. So it's got 2 errors. USB interface between host and Bluetooth module. Is that right? Bluetooth test. Power cycle. So Bluetooth failed. So it looks like the Bluetooth module might be dead. Okay, it's not that big a deal. We can always get another one. So that's the only 2 tests that failed. The GPU, which I know about because I've disabled it, and Bluetooth. Okay, it means it probably got wet. I mean, it does actually, I just had a quick look just now whilst it was running this test, and I remembered that one of the liquid indicators are fired by the trackpad. Also the trackpad's working, so it couldn't have been that bad. But they can fire inaccurately, so they can actually just get triggered by moisture, high humidity. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's actually got wet. But the fact that on this board here, I think I mentioned it previously when I was doing this, let's fold this over, so I can show you, without popping the MagSafe out because that'd be bad. So over here we've got a moisture sensor which is triggered because it's red, and this label here normally has the serial number of the computer and everything on it, right? And it's completely blank, but it is there. What that means is it's probably been through an ultrasonic cleaner and it's wiped the label off. That's what happens. It can affect labels. So I don't know. It's possible it's been through an ultrasonic. The SMC looks like it's been replaced because there's no bonding around the edges of it. And I'm getting a hot spot over here somewhere. I haven't quite figured out exactly where it is. It's in this area somewhere. It might be on the back of the board. Might be on the other side. Battery doesn't charge. This one I've just tried plugging in didn't charge. I'll try a different one, but now I've got the screen going at least. It's slightly better, I suppose. Anyway, it's still got some issues. So this is the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi module down this bottom corner here, which is just out of shot, just down here, and that's the cable comes across over here. So it's plugged in properly. I think I did see some corrosion on here, which I cleaned up, so that could well be fried. It wouldn't really surprise me. And this cable here, which is for the camera, that looks weird. It's like it's too long, and it's been pinched down here, so I'm a bit concerned about that as well. The camera may not work correctly. So if anyone uses FaceTime, I don't know, I've never used it. So it looks like the original battery pack is not responding to charge or anything. It doesn't really recognise it. I could try again actually, just to show you. This is the original pack. Just plug that in, plug the charger in, and it's not trying to charge a battery. I'll sort of flick up a couple of bits, but it's probably nothing. Right? That battery is not trying to charge. And I believe it's completely dead. Unplug that. It's completely dead. So it's not like it's charged up. So that's the original battery which was in it, which is a aftermarket. It's not even an original one. So if I get a battery I've got sitting here, which is actually for a 13-inch. Here, get rid of that. Plug that in. Stick the charger on. And we can see in current over here now. So getting 1.7 amps, nearly 2 amps. So that's actually charging that battery. So I think maybe the battery charging circuit's okay. That hotspot here, I was thinking about this. That's where the PCH is. So that could be completely normal actually. I was worried about being battery charge circuit. That's all over this area, just here. That's battery charge circuit in this area, and that's not the best getting hot. It's just over here more, which is PCH. So could be nothing. All right, it's 1.8 amps there. Take the charger off. It's still running. So the battery circuitry appears to actually be okay after all. So it looks like the only problem with that was actually GPU. So what I need to do now is get another battery for it and go from there. So I'll continue on with this repair. Now the other issues I had with this laptop was the Wi-Fi didn't work and the battery was dead. Well, new batteries arrived. Well, I think it has. I haven't unpacked it yet. There's some mailbag stuff there which I haven't gone through yet. As far as the Wi-Fi goes, I found a problem. I'll show you in a second. I should actually, you know, merch, buy some shirts or cups. Cups, shirts. Go on, you know you want to. Anyway, have to try. So, this had a liquid damage repair done by somebody else. Okay, this board here has obviously been ultrasonic because the label here is gone. I mentioned that earlier in the video as well. This label here is completely blank, so the board has been cleaned ultrasonics. I didn't find any liquid damage issues on here. Okay, not remembering. I've been working on this thing for months, so off and on. It's been sitting there for 4 months untouched, so I'm getting back to it again finally. Anyway, so I remember the Wi-Fi wasn't working, so I thought, right, I better have a look. So I popped this cable off. I knew the other end was alright. I think I did have a little bit of corrosion on one of the connectors on here or here. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I cleaned it off. It was only really minor. Anyway, so I thought I'd check the other end out. So I peeled it off because it normally sits on here. I just peeled that up, unconnected it, disconnected it, and there's all this corrosion over here. So let's show you. You see that on there? It's pretty ugly. Let's get a better shot, actually. stick this around this way. Okay, so here's a close look at this connector. As you can see, it looks pretty bad. Let's just adjust the focus on the microscope itself. Gives them different angles. Yeah, you can see it's a bit of a mess. And on this side as well. Solder whiskers across there. That's what it looks like anyway. Very interesting. Anyway, so I could try giving that a clean up and see what happens. I don't know how successful it's going to be. I've ordered a new cable and I've ordered a new Wi-Fi card. I'll show you the Wi-Fi card as well. It's still currently in the chassis. Let's have a look anyway. You can see the Wi-Fi card looks pretty much the same. Pretty ugly. So we'll see how we go with this. I mean it's all inside there as well. So I'll put the Wi-Fi card out and give it a clean up. But I have ordered a replacement. So I thought I'd just do a bit of video and try and clean it up and see if we can get anywhere. Ignore the date, that's wrong. So the first thing I'll do is get this Wi-Fi card out here. So let's grab some tweezers to use. This will do. We'll get all these antennas off. This might be the best tweezers for this actually, for different ones. Put them out from over here instead to be really easier. Just looking along the connector and just lifting it off, which is a much better way of doing it. Probably can't see what I'm doing. It does worry me the connector's going to come off, but anyway. This Wi-Fi card is either completely ruined anyway or salvageable, we'll find out. So I've got this cable here I need to get off. This is the actual card piece here. Let's spin this around actually. I'm trying to keep it all in shot. Okay, so I've got the screwdriver ready. This is the Torx 5. So I found out. Let's put that screw to one side. So that should now lift out. So I've got the cables already unhooked. And I'm just going to guide that one, which is passing through it. There you go. So the Wi-Fi card's under there. You can actually see from the bottom there's actually damage under here. You can see that. It's quite clear on that side. So I probably should have paid attention to that before when I was looking at it. So let's see about pulling this thing apart. Get the card out and have a look and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, so I could use a bit of a clean. Alright, yeah, that's definitely a bit of a mess in there. I don't know if it's going to be for shields, it probably has. That might be unrecoverable. Irrecoverable? I don't know what you want to call it. One of them recoverable things. Let's get this laptop out of the way actually. Actually I should look at these cables. Do they look alright? Yeah, I think I did actually see corrosion on those connections originally when I fixed that up. Pretty sure I did. Right, let's move this over here and get set up again. Okay, this is the board on magnify. Let's actually get a bit closer with this. It's definitely looking pretty bad. It's a bit of lighting. Well, it seems to be icy around the connector. I mean, that looks alright. But it could be underneath the metal shields. I mean, those capacitors there and stuff look okay. I was a little bit just on that U5 that I need to clean up. No, is it going to work? Maybe. No, it's on the back. It's got this plastic shield on the back here. Might be some stuff underneath this. Let's have a look. Peel this off. I'll try and peel this off. I might have to warm it up. We'll see. Yep, stuff under there. And it's a bit of a mess too. So, can I fix it? I really don't know. A flux and boil might not be good enough on this thing. That capacitor's dead. Well, I'll give it a go I suppose, but nothing to lose. I'll be really surprised if this is recoverable. I really doubt it will be. Yeah, well, let's peel this completely off because it's getting in the way. And let's flux it and give it some hot air and we'll see what happens. There we go, got some flux on there already. I'll zoom out slightly, you can see the board as well. Yeah. Okay. There's probably going to be parts which fall off. And a second pair of tweezers. One to hold it, one to mess around with it. Let's see. Just stuff over here. It's coming off. When your parts just fall off, and I've got a problem. These are looking a bit messy, but this area is quite yuck just here. I'll have to give this a bit of a flush with alcohol on it. So I'm going to see what's here first of all, start rubbing the things in case parts fall off. It's not looking that bad actually now I've done that. There are a few parts which look a little bit dodgy. But generally it's not too bad, just give it a clean up. Actually I'll do the other side first before I give it a clean up. Because this side also needs doing. Alright, so we've got to get in there with flux as well. And I've got to be a bit careful not to put too much heat into this because with the connector. I do tend to use quite a high air temperature. I'm using 422. So trying to hit it quickly and then move away again. I'm tempted to take these shields off, or try and take these shields off. I don't know what's under there. Well, it's actually looking fairly promising. Just whether it's got anything underneath these shields which is going to cause a problem. And that's what I'm worried about now. We'll see what we're dealing with after that. Also, it's where the flux run right inside underneath these shields and stuff, and that may be a good thing. Might have got rid of any corrosion that's sitting in there, but I don't know if there is corrosion in there or not. There likely is. Right, let's have a look at this. Without doing the actual soldering, everything's getting sticky because of the flux. There's a few parts there which aren't populated anyway. This isn't looking too bad. Might go over it. Bit up here still. Dunno. I'm not convinced that's going to come right. So there's still quite a bit in between those parts just there. So I can find it. Just here. The brush isn't really cutting it. Yeah, it's not looking that bad. I suppose I find it ugly looking, but it's worth a shot, I reckon. I'll clean the cable up as well. Might be able to get this working again. You never quite know. Could be beyond salvaging. I'll keep on cleaning this up anyway. I won't record the whole thing. Okay, so I had a bit of a clean up and poked around a bit and checked all the pins and make sure they're all solid, and they all seem fine. You know, if I go through like this and just poke them all, and there's no issues there with them being loose or anything like that. So I think it's basically alright. At least what I can see. I'll go on the other side here. I'll try different angles on these parts here and just had a really close look at them all, and they seem alright. Now, there's like one capacitor which is looking a little bit dodgy, but I'm not going to bother touching it because who knows what it is. No idea. So we'll see if that card works or not. I'll try fixing up the cable now. So here's the cable connector. So we'll chuck some flux on this and heat that up a little bit, see if it will come right. What I'm going to do is reduce my air temperature on this because I don't want to melt the connector. I'm trying to figure out which one's which. Yeah, I think I'll use that one. This is 340 degrees, so it's still pretty hot. Is it right out? No. So you can see it boiling. Okay. Right. Won't take much heat to melt this thing off this actual flick, so I don't want to do too much. Okay, so I'll drop the temperature down from what I'd normally be using. Give it a scrape. It's a very gentle run. And already it looks 10 times better. So, okay, let's give it a clean. It might just be surface corrosion, it might just be mainly staining. I mean, don't really know until you try it and have a look. Okay, so I'll have a look now. Get really close and get a bit of an inspection. Yeah, those all look fine. The other side. I'll probably use resoldering actually. There's a couple there which look a bit dodgy. That's not that big a deal. Check the side again from a different angle. That side looks alright. There's a couple here which look like probably would benefit from being resoldered. Actual connector itself, let's have a look inside there. Well, yeah, that looks alright. What I can see anyway. Alright, let's take a little more flux on here and we'll resolder it. Don't knock stuff off my desk first. What I'll do, I've got my decent silver solder here. Zoom out slightly more. Okay, and we'll just hit it with this. Do it again. These two look like they're bridged. Let's fix that. And those ones there bridged. It's kind of what you expect to happen on doing a drag solder. Yeah, there. Put some flux on. Just being a bit stubborn, isn't it? Well, I got it. Okay, let's give it a clean, let's have a closer look after that. Well, it's solid. Okay, I've put that board back together again. I've cleaned it all up and it's got all the flux and everything off, and it's all looking clean at least. No corrosion left over. We'll see if this actually works. So let's put that screw there back in again. This screw here I think was actually missing when I got it. I don't believe I've got it laying around. Yeah, I don't have it. So there's a bunch of stuff missing when this thing turned up, so bit of a shame. Tuck these wires back in. Do this one here first, I think. Yep, because it runs around the outside. I'm actually suspicious because this cable's too long, so I think maybe it's had something changed at some point. It's a bit interesting. Come around here, plug this in. See if I can get a better view. Probably not really. Drop that in place. Plug that in. Right, we shall power this thing up and see if it recognises the Wi-Fi being there, or if it will work. Let's get power supply sorted out. Right, let's plug the power in, turn it on. The machine's now booting. And we'll see if it finds a Wi-Fi or not. No, still no Wi-Fi. Still not recognising it. So the card itself was probably dead. So, oh well, it was worth a try, wasn't it? No hardware installed. That's a shame, that didn't work. But hey, it's worth a shot. Sometimes it could be recoverable. This time, it's not. So, oh well. Wait for the new parts to arrive. So the parts finally arrived, I've installed them, so it's got the new Wi-Fi card and a new Wi-Fi Flex. Well, obviously these are pulled from another machine from China, but they're off AliExpress. And tried doing the new Flex on the old Wi-Fi card, because that's what I suspected was actually wrong, was the Wi-Fi card itself is knackered. And yep, sure enough, this Wi-Fi card does not work with the new Flex, so yep, that's at it. So I'm using the new Flex with the new card, and hopefully this time it will work. Now I've put it all together already. I've assumed it's going to work. It could still be a problem with the motherboard itself, where there's the communication protocols and stuff between the motherboard and the Wi-Fi unit. Could be a problem with there, you know, because it was liquid damaged. I don't actually know if there's anything here which has been damaged, you know. But that shorting out could have blown something over here. It's entirely possible. I'll power this up and we'll see if the Wi-Fi is now working. I hope so. Over here is a little adjustment for the trackpad, for the click when you're pushing, you know, pushing it to get a click to the left mouse button. That felt a bit weak. The actual click didn't feel very solid. It's like it's only half clicking. It was doing it, but it didn't feel nice. And I've got that little screw just here. Right, this little screw just here. You just adjust that slightly, you turn it in slightly more, and that sticks out the bottom and actually depresses more on the actual button on the bottom. So the button on the bottom of this trackpad here, there's a little dome switch, and that just means it's got a better contact and it will press a bit more reliably. So that's all that's doing there. So just, you know, sort of screwdrivers like this and give it a tweak, just literally half turn, and that is now clicking a lot nicer. Just something I noticed when I was working on it before, it just didn't feel like it was quite right. Right, so let's get this thing powered up. This will just boot up as soon as I connect the power up because of the battery not being in it. So you can see the current coming up nicely over here, that's all working fine. And we have Wi-Fi. Excellent. Right, so this hardware monitor. Airport proximity is 129. I'm not sure if this matters. I see this quite often, airport proximity with high temperature. I don't think it applies to this particular computer model. I don't know, but the other ones look fine. So that's a really good sign. What I'll be able to do is go through the hardware test soon as well. Actually, I think I already did that. The only thing that failed was Wi-Fi, so actually, yes, I think that was okay. So I think this computer is now basically working. It seems responsive enough. That side seems alright, not like it's lagging or anything, so it's good. I'm pretty sure this is all good. I think this is a fixed computer. Obviously I've got to put a battery in yet. That's not done. I've got one sitting right here. We'll do that next. So I'll just place the battery in there. Let's hook it up. Put the screw back in. It's supposed to take screws, 2 screws, but I've only got one here. With the 3 screws, I can't remember. I've only got 1 screw here. I think I've got some here, actually. My odds box here. I've got one. It's tri-rings. Yeah. I'm not sure these are the right ones for this model though. Let's have a look. These little battery tabs are really fragile. They tend to break quite easy if you get an impact on the laptop itself as well. It's a bit of a shame this one's got a big ding on the corner of the laptop. Wish it didn't have that, but there's not much I can do about that. That's that. That's why I keep odd spare parts. They come in handy from time to time. So that's the battery hooked up, screwed in. Let's drop the cover on. I need to put these. Actually, I've got some new feet for this. I'll put those on too before I refit the cover properly. But unfortunately, you can see on this corner here, it's where it's had a big impact. So I probably will try and fix this. I'm pretty sure this isn't the original bottom cover for this machine, seeing as it's not damaged. And this one's been through an electronic cleaner by somebody else. There's no markings on the sticker, but the RAM chip's all gone. So I think I mentioned that previously earlier in the video when I was looking at it originally. This bit's missing. There's also a plate which is supposed to be across here which is missing. I don't think I've got one. I do want to kind of get this dent out somehow. It's not easy to get them out though, it's a problem. Just test up the battery in place. Right, let's get it booting up. Let's see what comes up with the battery. It's a brand new battery, but you never quite know what you're going to get when you're getting brand new batteries. Because they're not from Apple, they're from China. You don't quite know what the quality is like. Showing 23% state of charge. Okay, right, let's just go into the information about the machine. It seems to be a little bit less glitchy. Originally it's a little bit laggy. Initially when it first booted, and that seems to be gone now, also because of the battery, maybe it's helped it. So 2.2 GHz i7 was in this machine. 4 GB of RAM currently installed. So as we just did the Wi-Fi card, let's have a look at Bluetooth. Anyway, it's recognising Bluetooth, so there's that part. Battery, power. 0 cycle count. Yeah, well, you know, that can be reset if you know how to do it. And that looks like it's okay. It says it's not charging though, that's weird. Yeah, it should be charging. Why is the battery not charging? Is there some other problem still going on here? It says it's trying to charge. Well, this is under power. Hold on a second, there might be a problem with the charging circuitry. Let me check this. Because we've got the ISL6259 just over here, and this charging circuitry is in this area as well. So the charger's only sitting on a green light, it's not going to an orange light. So we still have an issue. It's not charging the battery. We might do a parameter RAM reset, boot up, and see if that will change anything. Reset the SMC. So interesting, even though the machine says it's not charging, I've shut it down and I'm seeing the charging current here climbing. So it looks like it started charging when we turned the machine off. There's no appreciable heat. It's warm, but there's no real things of concern there. So it's charging the battery when it's powered off. So what I might do is unplug this cable, unplug the battery, plug the battery back in again, plug the cable back in again, do an SMC reset on the boot up with the pre-RAM, and we'll power the RAM, and we'll see how that goes. Doing an SMC reset is probably the idea. Okay, so I unplugged the cable, unplugged the battery, waited a few seconds, pushed the power button a few times, plugged the battery back in again, plugged the power cable back in again. I'm now getting an orange light on the charger, getting a charging current from the power supply, and hopefully this will be charging in the system as well. It's drawing 4.4 amps right now, so it's running the computer and the charging at the same time. Let's see what the system says. Power. Battery installed, yes. Charging, yes. Fully charged, no. Okay, cool. That's looking like it's sorted itself out now. So it must have been a controller problem where it got a bit confused. This needs to be reset fully. So I haven't done a pre-RAM reset, I just did the SMC reset, and that seems to have done the job. And the charging current says it's charging, machine says it's charging, that just went up 1%, so maybe that's not a problem after all. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Checking hardware again, nothing has gone awry I can see. System total 66 watts, yeah. Battery showing just down here 24%, same as it shows up there, doesn't show you charging current unfortunately. I think we're looking okay. I think we're good. Wi-Fi. Let's have a look at the Wi-Fi card here. Broadcom chipset. Country code in Z, obviously. Yeah, okay. In Wi-Fi. So that's recognised okay. I think we're good. We're charging. That might be all the problems it's got, which are now solved. Unless I've forgotten something. Make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon, all that usual stuff, and share the video. I think people might be interested in it. I do want to try and get this big dent out the corner somehow. That's going to be fun. Kind of need some kind of puller or something which can pull into here, pull that corner back out, pushing against these edges. I don't know. I have to try and figure out something for that. Yep, up 25%. Got another percent there. Also, check out my other videos. I've got lots of videos. I've got some links at the end of the video here as well. There'll be cards pop up here and over here. Subscribe button will come up here, and a Patreon thing or merchandise option will be down here. Also got my merch shelf down below. My store link. Go and check that out too if you want to purchase any merch, like my iFix stuff mug, help support the channel. I've got other things there, shirts and things like that. So I've got loads of videos about MacBook repairs and Apple repairs, stuff like that. So make sure you go and check out my playlist for those. There'll probably be links at the end, most likely. So just check out those and have a look at some other stuff I've been fixing. Or I've got test gear or other general electronics as well. If you like electronic repairs in general, check them all out. I've managed to get this corner kind of round. It's not perfect, it looks a bit dodgy. These never look great when you straighten them. The aluminium surface just doesn't go quite as nice. So I've managed to get it basically round, and you can see there it's kind of the right shape now. It's obviously not perfect, but it's now at least the right shape. What I basically do is I get a ring spanner like this, and this is a 13mm, this one, which is about the right radius, and I take all the stuff off inside here obviously, and I basically get in there with that in that corner and hammer it. Right, it sounds a bit extreme, but you can then go up and down with that, and it gradually pushes out. I also use this puller here, which is actually used for doing dent repairs on vehicles. Use like a glue-on thing which pull dents out with. I needed a puller to pull it out initially to get it in enough to be able to use this. So it's kind of get it in the right place, and then I use this to get the profile correct. Because this pulls on the sides, you can actually get it across this corner here, pretty much like this. Get the feet on there, because you grab a feet as well, and it doesn't damage the sides, and get those on there, and then you can use that to pull the corner a little bit as well. Basically I'll stick that on there, I've taken the spring off it, so I've got a bit more stroke on it, and I basically used the jaws of this in there like that, hooked it on inside here, so I basically hooked on like that, and used this to pull it initially so I was under control. I could do a controlled forming, and then I obviously used the ring part to bang that out. So it's not perfect. I mean, there's probably a better way of doing it. If someone's got a better way to do, or if someone knows of a special tool we can actually get to do this particular job, that'd be great, because I come across this from time to time on MacBooks I pick up which have been insurance written off. Someone's dropped them on the ground and broken them, probably because they got liquid damage, and they do that to make it failure. But yeah, so that's formed well enough, and I can now get the bottom casing on, and you can see that actually fits. Alright, it fits well enough. Once it's screwed down it'll be a bit better, but you can see it actually does go down, and it will be an okay fit. Good enough, it actually fits now, whereas before it's nowhere near it. So yeah, excellent. Thought you might like that little tip. Okay, catch you later. Have a good one. See you next video.